Alrighty, what is going on, everyone? So in the last video we showed how to go about laying your ground planes for both the high voltage and the low voltage side. So went through that whole process and kind of gave any commentary that I thought was necessary for kind of what we were doing. So the next part that we're going to be focusing on now is we're basically just prepping the board to be sent off to the fabrication house. So there are a couple of steps we'll take that I will discuss, and then a lot of it's going to also look like that from idea to manufacture tutorial I did way back when. So yeah, before we get started though, there's one important thing I need you to do, and that is to hit the like button for me. That helps out my channel a tremendous amount, so that'd be extremely awesome if you could do that. So yeah, but yeah, let's just go ahead and get started. So if you see, whenever I opened up the little template I started, I already had some like this little section called Fabrication Notes here, and right now we only have one note in this box, and we're slowly going to fill it up over time as we develop our design skills, and so we're going to make it more and more. Our design is going to approach a professional level, more and more as we add more things here and stuff like that. So right now the only thing we have, and I'll zoom in on it, says no silk screen allowed on copper pads, remove at the manufacturer's discretion. So the reason I put that, and I'll actually have to go into the design rules to explain why. So if we go design rules, and then we're going to look at, I want to say, okay, so we have silk to solder mask clearance. So what if you look at that, I have that set at silk to object minimum clearance is 0.025 millimeters, which is an extraordinarily small value. So in the case of an error in manufacturing, what will happen is some ink could get onto our pads. So like say we have a component designator, see how close these are to each other? They could get on, the ink could get on the pad, and that would affect the quality of the electrical connection there. So what I'm instructing the fabrication house to do is inspect all the pads, and if any ink gets on a pad, then they just need to wipe it off, is basically what I'm instructing them to do. So that just allows me to really reduce the clearance requirement for the rule. In order to say I have like a high density board, then I have no problem inching this designator right here really close to the pad, knowing that the manufacturer will take care of it if there's any problems. So that's kind of the reason I did that there. Another thing that really makes your board look really professional is if you add in some, let me see, I think it's what are we gonna, place, and then you go dimensions, and we want to go linear. And real quick, we'll jump up the snap grid to 1 millimeter. So yeah, placing some dimensions, but actually want to make sure, and you actually look on my thing, my layers, I already have a dimensions layer, so make sure we have that layer selected. It's a mechanical layer. So a mechanical layer, what you can use them for is to make little fabrication notes and place anything outside the board you want. So this is what, because we're going to be applying like some text, like you could add like place, and there must be like you can place line or text string, right? And that's how I did that. So you place this, and then you can just type, whatever you want to, like here's the string up here, and you just be like, right, and that's just how you make little notes right there. And you put those on mechanical layers, I think, because it might throw you an error. It could mess up the manufacturing if you have it on like a signal layer or something like that. So just make sure you have the mechanical dimensions layer selected. So then we're going to do place, dimension, and then we're going to do linear, of course. And we're going to select our origin, and then we're going to go see how it's measuring vertically. So you press spacebar, and then you get a horizontal measurement. So then we'll go down here. So right now it looks like it's our board is not exactly, so we need to switch our snap grid to a small value. And then we'll zoom way in and make sure we're right on it. So right there, select that value, and then we can just pull this down a little bit, and then boom. Okay, so right now that looks like it's in mils. Let's select this. So if you look here, it says primary units, it says mils. So we're going to hit centimeters, and then boom, we know our board is, look at that, 13.3. And then I think we can even change the format, so cm is what we'll include there. And then we will also do the same thing for the vertical portion. So you just click there, stick in the, it looks like we are off by just a little bit. It's good to be extra zoomed in. We probably need to zoom, reduce our snap grid by a lot. There we go, right on the money. Perfect. Okay. So it's really 13.28 centimeters. Good catch. All right. So yeah, same thing for the vertical portion. So dimension linear. Start in the bottom corner. I don't know why it's snapping onto that. Okay, so we just zoom all the way in to make sure we're right on the corner. All right, then we can zoom out. Then we'll hit spacebar, and then we can same thing right there. Then boom. All right, now drag it out. Over here we'll go format, change that to that. All right, so that's going to show centimeters, so it's 8.1 centimeters. And resume, and just put that right there. So yeah, so now we have the nice board dimensions that are just visible on our PCB. Makes it look nice and professional that way. So yeah, if we can go view, 3D layout. I think you can still see the, I'm not sure if you can see the dimensions. It's white, so it could, the white background could just be clouding it, but yeah, so look, this is like the finished board. So looks great, especially on this stuff. Yeah, again, as we develop our design skills, we'll be adding more and more things to these sections. So the final step in this project is going to be the fabrication output documents, right? So what we're going to do is going to hit right click, add new to project, and it's going to be out job file. So this should look a lot like, again, that original tutorial I first did. So now we're going to select all of the output documents, output documents we need. So just taking a look at this, we don't need those, don't need similar documentation outputs. Assembly, so we need to add the assembly drawings, pick and place files. We don't need a test point for fabrication outputs, of course. We need, so we're gonna add the Gerber files. And again, so the way you end up doing this is you can send, like, this is not like a, if you mess up, your board gets broken, just email the fabrication house and see what documents they ask for. But this is sort of like this is what is typical of what a fabrication house will ask for. So let's see, report outputs, bill of materials, yes, and we're gonna go with an active BOM document, and it's gonna give us a red thing here because we don't have an active BOM yet, and we just added. So I just hit right click and I hit add new to project, and we have active BOM document. Looks great. So we'll edit this in a second, and I'll show you how we'll have our BOM. New report. We don't really need anything else from there. Validation outputs. Would design rules check? Would be okay. You know, we could go and do that real quick. I don't think we did a final design rule check, but tools design rule check. I think we actually did. Yeah, we did it earlier. Yeah, so we got 0 again. 0 warnings. Wonderful. So BOM doc, out job file. Export outputs. There's nothing here that we need post-process. And then nothing. So we got to make sure what we do is have this document linked to a. So we have to. So these are. The file types, and then we have to have like a container for them. So these are all going to be output into a folder structure. Meaning, so the way it works is, so a PDF is good. It is what Altium will output for reports. In fact, let me see. A bill of materials, that will output as an Excel spreadsheet, and we'll even go look at our BOM doc in a second. But yeah, like the assembly drawings and Gerber files, those are like, you can call them, those are like special file types. You're not going to find those, like making them a PDF is not useful, because the computer is, the software on the fabrication end is designed to look at the Gerber files and the assembly drawings and the pick and place files and stuff like that. So these will have special file types, so you need to generate a folder structure for those. So let's go take a look at the active BOM doc. And so what I'm going to do, so here we have a bunch of columns that are like blank, and then this says no solution. So what we'll do is right click and we'll hit select columns, right? So now this is a list of all the columns we have available to us. And when I say columns, this just means like parameters for information for our data. So what we'll do is we'll go through and we'll pick which ones we need. So if this should look kind of familiar, so what this kind of is taking is parameters that we input into our schematic and PCB library. So we look at voltage forward, voltage peak reverse, voltage reverse. These come from stuff that we put in, or I put in. I didn't show this off camera, but these are things that I put in for my schematic library, right? So that's where these are coming from. So what I think matters first, so let's see, line number is okay, name is okay, description is okay. Let's just go through and look at these. Designator is yes, we need that. Quantity is good. Okay, so what we're missing here is the manufacturer and then the manufacturer part number, right? So they have their own spaces for that. But so what happened was we made our own parameter, and we just called it like MPN or manufacturer or something, so that we'll find it in this list. So what we're going to do is get rid of this, all of these, and then we're going to scroll into an alphabetical order. So we're going to find manufacturer and then manufacturer's P/N, and we'll hit OK, and then boom, look at that, it shows up. So this is all the information we entered whenever we did our components in our library. And so if you need to know more about information about where this comes from, then these are mounting holes, then go watch my component tutorials, right? Those will teach you how I got this. And then this is a transformer and this is custom. So these are why those two are blank. But yeah, so this is the BOM document that we will be sending out. So looking at the bill of materials of BOM. So yeah, this should be formatted in an Excel spreadsheet. Let me see if there's anything else. Looking at this base view. Yeah, so I think this is fine. Yeah, so this will work just fine for us. And then, so we'll hit S. We need to save all these. This is fine, yeah. And this is project outputs. So we'll put this in this folder. And the same thing for this out job. It's going to be named for 120. All right, save. All right, so then we're gonna go back to our output job file, and then we'll hit generate and publish. Or actually generate content, I think is the correct one. So yeah, so it's thinking. So look, these are all the files, pick and place. Oh, look at that Excel document, beautiful. Okay, so here's our BOM, bill of materials, 120 watt flyback. It looks beautiful, right? So it's got everything we need. Here's our name, like these are the designators, or not the designators, like the information. Honestly, you probably don't need this folder or this column right here. Description is fine. Let me see, and we'll go back and edit it actually. So what we want to do, let's go back to our BOM document. So we can get rid of name. That's not that important. So name, we're getting rid of that. I'll hit refresh. Did I get rid of name? No, I did not. Oh, I probably hit, I need to hit, okay. And then designator, I don't know if we can, yeah, I want to put designator here, description, quantity, manufacturer. So this is the order I wanted in. So now we're going to go back to our output job file, and then we'll hit generate content. So it's going to just regenerate everything, but then what's more important is that our flyback should come up. And or maybe it didn't overwrite it if we didn't close it. Okay. Or maybe it did. Let's see, designator, description, quantity, manufacturer. Okay, so this is fine. This looks good. Like a manufacturer can work with this and actually, you know, fabricate your board with this information right here. So that's pretty much all they need. So yeah, that pretty much wraps up the entire video. Like we've literally gone from idea to manufacture now. So feel good. We're making great progress with our design skills. I think we're getting more and more comfortable with all these processes, right? Hopefully if you followed the first one and then this one, right, you feel a little bit more confident. Our board was a lot more complicated, had a lot more parts to it. So again, like the next step is just to keep doing more and more boards like this, because this is about as complicated as a flyback will get. There are a few more things we could add, like say flybacks can support multiple outputs, but that's just more of the stuff that we already know. There's not really a lot of new stuff that we'll be adding to our boards from here on out. Like it only change maybe like it only get maybe like another 10% more complicated depending on what features our flyback has. But yeah, so I mean we've done a lot of work to get here, and so be proud of yourself if you made it this far. So yeah, that's pretty much it here. Thank you so much if you made it to the end of this video. Please go ahead and subscribe if you want to stay up to date with all the content. Like this is the last video in this series, so hopefully hopefully you saw all the other ones, right? That'll definitely show you how we got here from literally a spec sheet. So hopefully that's super helpful to you. I post electrical engineering related content regularly, so you know, if you want to stay up to date with that, then yeah, subscribing is super helpful for you. And maybe check out the rest of my channel for some other videos. I do my bread and butter is going to be project videos like this, and then I also post like a lot of other stuff related to like engineering concepts, and I even do some smaller like design guides for smaller types of circuits and stuff like that. So yeah, thank you so much for you know, sticking with it this long, and hopefully I will see you in the next video.